Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brand Lab, a podcast by PrettyGirlsWork. I'm your host, Lindsay Tompkins, and I go by the pronouns she and her. I've spent almost a decade building my brand to a six-figure business, and I want to show you how to do the same. There's tips and strategies you'll learn along the way, but remember, the real magic is you. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back. Thank you guys so much, first of all, for just riding this wave with me. Last week we took the week off, and that is just because I had a dental surgery and I got my period and I was just having a week. So I wanted to just, take some time. So welcome back. The last episode we did was about Facebook Live. So I kind of want to continue in this topic that's going to include Facebook Live, but is not going to be specifically just about Facebook Live. We're actually going to be talking about sort of this like 4-system formula for growing online. And especially if you have an existing business or you are starting a new business and you're not really not even social savvy, but you just don't have really a community of your own. So like, obviously, of course, like right now, for me to start a new business, I have a following that I've built up. Right now I am taking a break from my personal Instagram. So I haven't been growing that the last month and a half, but I do have over 14,000 people there. I have a Facebook group that has, 7,500 people. I have 5,000 friends on my personal page and another 4,000 people that follow me there. And then I have a few thousand people that follow me on my business page and, a few hundred on Clubhouse. There's, places kind of everywhere. And so right now it's obviously significantly easier for me to take the community that I've built over, the past several years and really turn that into a business. And so there's some of you out there, maybe you've built a following and you're like, okay, I've been, working this 9-to-5 job that I have, and I've just been putting content online and sharing my mission and my passion as a human being and just, showing up as a content creator, but I haven't monetized. I think that can be a whole episode that we also do on itself, like how to monetize your following that you already have. But this episode is also going to be especially good, I think, more so for those of you that don't really have a following or not that large of one. And so you're kind of looking to expand and to grow, but to build your business at the same time, because it is extremely difficult when you don't have something else to leverage. Like if I'm going to go start a new Instagram account for, another business or something else, I already have, like I said, those other accounts, those other spaces where I can say to people, hey, come on over here, come check this out. But a lot of you, you start an Instagram account or, you go onto Facebook or start a group or anything like that, and it's crickets. You don't know where to post. You don't know how to funnel people into there. So I've kind of built out this, I hate that I said but whatever. I've built out this sort of 4-step system, and we're going to talk about that today so you can see where you are in this sort of different stages of your journey and you can really utilize them. Because at the end of the day, the number one thing when it comes to our business, the first thing that we want is, and we need to get, is reach and visibility. So a lot of people, that train branding or marketing or sales, they get right into here's how you close, here's how you're going to present, here's how, you make content, but they don't really start from, okay, but where do I find the people? How do I even get visibility on my content? How do I even get anyone to show up to my webinar? How do I get anyone in front of me to close a sale? Where is that? And really, this sort of growth formula in general is always going to be reach and visibility plus KLT, which is know, like, and trust, what we're going to talk about too, plus your offering, and that's what's going to equal success. right? And so you need to make sure that that first part of that equation, let's pretend we're using bed mass. You have to start from, you have to go in a certain order. You can't just jump to spending all this time sitting there creating, your courses and your programs or your product in the background without first having that reach and visibility. But you can't have reach and visibility and a know, like, and trust factor, but have no programs, products, or services to offer to equal a business. So you need all three of those things. So to kind of like recap on what those three things are, you need reach and visibility. That's number one. Then you need know, like, and trust factor. And then you need programs, products, and services. So what, something that you can monetize. And that all of those added together, multiplied together, even more so than, addition, is going to equal a successful business online. And so look at that, like, sit down and even break down, and that's not even the 4-step process or the 4 stages, but that sort of even formula to look at that, look at what am I missing here? Like I said, those of you, maybe you do have reach and visibility. Maybe you have built a community that knows, likes, and trusts you, but you don't have anything to offer them of monetary, like, of an exchange. And so that's why you don't have a business. Maybe you do have a product or program or services or a business or whatever. And maybe you have some reach and visibility, but you're like, I don't know how much people trust me, or I don't know how much they really know about my personal brand, or I'm very vulnerable, and people who do know me really do trust me, but I don't have large enough of a following to really build a business right now. It's just more of a side hobby business or anything like that. So look at those 3 different areas for sure to see where is it that I'm missing. And so we're going to kind of walk through, how we're going to do these sort of things and with these sort of 4 stages. So let's just take reach and visibility as number 1. So that is going to be really, really important to gain traction and to get eyes seen. It's, at the end of the day, like, that's what marketing is for. Like, how can I bring people to my brick and mortar, to my website, like, to get referrals and to get my business out there. And so number 1, for those of you especially that do not have any sort of following, I always say in my trainings, you can use, and I think maybe I said this in one of the first episodes, we use social media, in a variety of ways, okay? But there is going to be 3 specific ways. The first one is communication and community. The second is marketing, and the third is sales. So this is from a business perspective, not just like a life perspective. And so a lot of people, we just look at social media as sales or just as marketing. And I can tell on people's profiles, you'll do a lot of marketing, but I don't see you selling. I don't see you closing deals. I see you talking about what you do, but I don't see you actually gaining customers. Then there are people who are constantly selling, but you're not marketing and, building that interest. I don't know who you are. I don't know why I need this. You're not, making this like really desirable for me. But then we also have that we need that conversation and that community and that connection. And so for those of you that don't really have a large, robust following and you're looking to grow, that's number 1, using social media as a communications tool and social sales pages. And so what I mean by social sales pages is this is actually like a course that I've done. It used to be called the Core 4 Funnel, but it's going to be changed to social sales pages. And we are going to, I love that I said we, like as if I'm over here with a whole team of people. It's just me. Except I will say now I have PrettyGirlsWork and we are working together. So it is a we. It is a we because Elle posted this podcast for me and she makes the graphics. So it is a we. Thank you, Elle. But it is, I'm going to come out with a training about this, but it's essentially setting up your pages to speak for you so people know what you're doing. And that's the communication factor. And so number 1, what you want to do if you're new to social media is you want to get out there and you want to use it to be social. Social media was not specifically built for businesses, even though now it's obviously set up in a way to be monetized so Facebook can make money, which means that it is for businesses. But really like the true core, because their product really is us, like Facebook's product is to sell us. And so they need to make sure that they create a community, that they create social atmospheres. And I think that in general, Clubhouse has like really brought back that reminder to me in terms of social media in general of like, yes, this is meant to communicate, because Clubhouse is so much different. It's not about like, oh, I'm going to post this photo of how cute I think I look today, or like create all this content and stuff like that. It's just genuine showing up in conversation. I have absolutely loved Clubhouse. I'm going to be having my good friend Mary do an episode with me. I said this 2 weeks ago, waiting for this big announcement from Facebook. Didn't really see too much of anything. So still going to wait on that unless I just totally missed it and I just haven't looked it up right now. But I'm going to be bringing Mary on to do a podcast episode with us to talk about Clubhouse, because she has grown on Clubhouse. She moderates multiple rooms, has a few rooms of her own, and is doing such an amazing job. And I'm always in complete awe of her. And she's definitely figured out how to best utilize the platform, and also to get over like your fear of speaking. And we're going to talk all about that stuff together. And so that is going to be next week's episode. So stay tuned for that. Make sure that you come back for that next Friday. And yeah, so that's been like a really amazing platform for me. It's, where I start my day. I go on there every morning, 7:10. There is a beautiful room, under Winter Thrive Abundance, that in the club that I attend. It's called Intentions and Incantations, and we talk about abundance and our intentions for the day and our affirmations, and it really just puts me in a good frame of mind. But I've made so many amazing connections there, and it reminds us like we need to use this for community. And so if you are trying to put yourself out there, you need to put that's what you literally need to do. You need to put yourself out there. If you've created this space, you can't just sit there and like hope that people come. You have to start getting to know people. And that means that you go to other spaces. Like for example, I live in Niagara, Ontario, and I also own a dance business. And when I moved here, even though, yes, I had a following on Instagram and all that sort of stuff, I was opening a local business now. So not just something that was like online. I was accessible to everyone in, my circle of influence. And so I had to do the work. And like what I mean by that is I had to go out there and I had to meet people. I went to networking events. I went to a different tanning salon and nail salon every single time when I first moved here to introduce myself. I would bring little like promo cards with me and say, hey, I'm launching this business. Is it okay if I leave some of these here? Introduce myself, become a customer of theirs, like get to know them. I went to different gyms. I, ran Facebook ads. I started finding groups on social media about people in Niagara that I thought, had similar interests to my business. And I just got to know people, and I showed up and I put in the work. And so that is like number one. You can't just think like, because everyone's teaching you how to build an Instagram profile, how to set up your business page, how to make a TikTok video. But if you don't, you can set that up, and if no one's coming, then like no one's coming. And so you have to start going out there first. The like responsibility is on you. You need to put in the effort. You can't just like set up this Instagram profile or set up this storefront or whatever it is and just sit in there and like hope somebody walks by or somebody lands on my page and they want to connect with me. Of course, content helps all of that. And that's like something that we'll talk about in a minute. But the first thing you want to do is you want to put yourself out there and you want to start showing up. One of my clients, Nikki Ribeiro, she is amazing. And I'm actually going to have her come on and we're going to talk about a few different things, but I'll ask her about this because one of the things that she says she does that's been really effective for her is she, takes 4 different pillars of things that she's interested in. So say, for example, your business is in like health and wellness or whatever. So she'll find, it doesn't actually even matter what your business is, but look at your life. What are 4 things that I'm interested in? So I'm just gonna use myself as an example because I know myself the best. So I'm interested in dance. I love dancing. I am interested in personal development. So I love being in communities that are focused around personal development and like self-help and book clubs and things like that. So there's one right there. I'm also interested in art as of late, especially neurographic art, which is, I'm going to kind of next week with the Clubhouse episode, Mary's also a neurographic art teacher, and I like literally am obsessed with it. And so I'll even let her kind of like plug what she talks about in there. I'll ask her. But that is something that I'm really interested in. And I am also interested in, I'm literally trying to think of something right now. Okay, well, I don't think I've said this on this podcast, but I am currently on a fertility journey. So I'm actually in a lot of Facebook groups right now. Some with like women who have, or people that have PCOS, people that are struggling with fertility, people with hypothalamic amenorrhea and things like that. So I'm in all these different groups where there are people that are trying to conceive. And so those are, say, like 4 different like topics of interest that are like really sort of prevalent in my life right now. So what you do is, and it's not to be salesy or spammy. It's not to just be like, oh, I'm going to go into these groups and like, make these fake friendships just so I can try to, invite them to my business opportunity, or I can try to get them as a client, or try to get them in the door of my studio or anything like that. It's like, I'm going to genuinely be a community member. If you want to build a community, you have to be its first member, and you have to be a member of other people's communities. And so that's, making sure that you are an active part of other people's groups. And how do you show up, and how do you build relationships? And that's why I say that social sales pages is, how do you set your page up so that when you do start to build these friendships, because that's the second part of the formula. Remember, it's visibility. How do I get people to see me? If you're new, number 1, it's going to different places, actually showing up. And, we build that relationship with know, like, and trust. And you need to make sure that people know what it is that you do. So when you start to build that relationship and they're going to your personal profile and they're starting to check you out, they know how to work with you. Even like on Clubhouse, you're able to link up your Instagram, and your Clubhouse bio should be like, here is who I am. Here are the topics that I talk about. And your Instagram should also really speak to your business, because when people are interested in learning more from you, like maybe they just heard you speak in a room, then they are going to go check out your Instagram, and your Instagram better tell them in like half a second how they can do business with you. I think, especially I hear this a lot in the network marketing industry, this like attraction marketing, which is like, keep things secret. Don't tell people what you do. But like, I'm here to tell you, even like if that's something you've heard in like sales in general, like whatever your business is, because I know it's not just network marketers that listen to this. It's just, I know that I have a large following in that space, but those days are gone. Like, we're not inviting people like to sketchy, not that they were sketchy, but like the situation is sketchy. Come to this hotel room and I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to show you this presentation, or like going to somebody's house and they like plop in a VHS and it's like, a little sales presentation for joining like this company. I literally also did go to one of those when I was in high school, and I came home and I was like, Mom. Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. Mom, can you give me like $200 to join this? And my mom was like, no. And but anyways, like those days are gone. Okay. Like, no. Because even if they do work, like it almost kind of worked on me, but it's like in the moment, it's not authentic, it's not real, and you're not finding like actual quality leads. You're getting people that you like just tricked into like drinking this Kool-Aid in the moment, but then those aren't the people that you really want. You want people that like are like, yeah, like fuck yeah, let's do this. I want to work with you. And so those days are gone. So there's no like attraction, because do you know what? Okay. Hold the phone. Of course there's attraction marketing, because that's the know, like, and trust factor. That is like literally like manifesting the right people by like attracting what you want in your life. That's a whole other conversation. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is showing up to be that person, but being super, super secretive about what your business is. Like, that may have worked in the early days of social media when there wasn't that many people online. Like in 2017, July 2017, Facebook ran out of space in the newsfeed. Like, that was a really big deal back then, because before then there was like, if you think of the newsfeed as like all these like sections where you can put content in, there was space. Like, there was literally still blank spaces. There was not enough content being made for the amount that Facebook could handle. But now it's not like that, which is why like the algorithm changed. Everyone's like, the algorithm changed. It sucks. It's like, okay, yeah, like a lot of it does suck. However, there's too much content now. Like, you would never, if everything was just posted chronologically, like our attendance and the amount of like activity we spend online would go down, because you wouldn't see what really interests you, because there'd be too much to scroll through. And so Facebook does have to, and Instagram and every other platform is, Okay, this is totally off topic, but it popped in my head because I saw this on TikTok. Did you guys know that Pinterest is called Pinterest because it's supposed to be to pin your interest to a board? Like I had no idea. Obviously not that obvious to Lindsay Tompkins, but anyways, anywho, I digress. What was I even talking about now? Because now I'm all about Pinterest, Facebook, there was algorithm. We're back on track. So now they're trying to cater the algorithm to be exactly what they think that you want, because there's so much content to choose from. They have to pick and choose. You cannot possibly see all of it. And so that's why the algorithm exists. It's why it's like trying to create this like really custom and specific news feed. And that's why specific and custom, like very, very specific and targeted content is really important to a niche market, because there's a lot of competition out there. And so, yeah, can you afford for someone to come to your page? Do you know how many people I follow? Do you know how many people I follow on Instagram? Where I'm like, I saw them on Facebook Live, or I saw like a reel, or I saw like a post. I'm like, oh my fucking God, like this person is amazing. I'm super, super like so glad I found them. Give them a follow, never see their content again. It's because there's just so much content. And because I'm a newer follow to them, yes, like the algorithm will give a little bit of a bump of like, ooh, a new follow, let's show you some content. But if I miss it, if I don't see it, if like the content doesn't speak to me and I don't recognize that it's theirs, this is also why branding is important, so that you stand out and people know that it's your content without really having to know. But if I don't see it, I'm not gonna see them anymore. And so there are people who I would love to probably do business with, that I would probably buy stuff from, that I'd probably spend my money with, but I just don't see their content. And so if you're keeping your business a secret, like you are losing an opportunity. I don't care. I will literally ride this like until the end of time. Like anyone who's telling you like, oh, just don't tell people, like they already have followings, they're already doing so much more. And like now you're having to put so much into, like now you're becoming a media company, now you're becoming a content machine, now you're becoming like, I need to get like content just for them to see me enough so that when I do decide to sell something, when I do decide to mention what I do, then they hop on board. But like your social media pages should speak for you. I should be able to go to your page and be like, yep, you're a real estate agent, I'm buying a house, I'm gonna work with you. Yep, you're a coach, oh my God, that's fucking awesome, I'm gonna hire you. Oh, you sell lip gloss, you sell like, I don't know, skincare or healthcare, or not healthcare. Are you a hospital? I'm going to go the next time I cut my finger, I'm going to your clinic and ER, sir. Fuck my life. Not healthcare, but just health related products. Anything. I need to know, because that's when it like, because I also need to see it and be reminded. Do you know how many people that I want to buy from? I'm super fucking well-intentioned, but I forget, I procrastinate, I like don't see the message in time. I have the best intentions to spend my money with all of you, but I forget. And the issue is you're too afraid to talk about your fucking business because you've been told to do attraction marketing and like keep things secret. And so now I don't know what the hell you do. And so when I do see your content and you're not talking about your business, I'm like, oh, this is such a cute Instagram reel, I'm gonna give you a like. And then I think I've done like good by you today. Meanwhile, you're sitting at home and like you can't pay rent. No, tell me how to help you. You have to literally show up. And so your pages have to speak for you. So that's number one. That was a really long number one. Like, where are we even at in terms of the time? Like, we are at 22 minutes. Oh my God. Maybe we need to break this down, because I think each of these are going to take me like 20 minutes. So maybe we're just going to, okay. This is what we're going to do. We're not going to go through every single one of these, but do you know what? Now that I'm kind of looking at them, forget it. We're going to, because they're not going to take me that long, because I'm going to build these out into other episodes as well, and some earlier ones we did. Guys, this episode is like, I hope you're, I don't know, having a good time. I'm having a great time over here. So we've done that. Use it as a communications tool. You're going to build visibility through networking in other groups and doing all that stuff. Now, number 2 is I want you to start doing a lot of Facebook Lives. I want you to be doing live video, long form content. Long, L-O-N-G, long form content. So here's like, you know, my, not just my opinion, but here's the deal. So on average, so we know visibility, that's number 1. So visibility is going to come in the form of I feel like maybe what we should have done for this episode is just talk about how to build visibility. Okay, scratch everything. Because you know what? This is what this really has been about, and let's stay on this. You guys should see me right now. I'm sitting up in my chair differently. I'm adjusting. I'm like, okay, let's fucking do this. This is what we're doing. This episode is going to be called how to gain visibility. That's a snap. Okay. So number one is community. To actually like show up in other communities, to get into Facebook groups, to connect, to go to networking events. Right now, there's not a lot going on in person. Join masterminds. Like, you have to show up. You have to show up. You have to put yourself out there. Go on Clubhouse. Start talking to people. It doesn't matter if you're on social media. See, I'm getting enthusiastic over here. Just doesn't matter if you're on social media. Everything still needs to be belly to belly. Even if you are, I don't know if you guys have ever heard that term, like a belly to belly business, like person to person. And we think like so many of you have more of a relationship with your fucking phone or Instagram than you do with the people that you're actually trying to connect with and trying to get to buy from you. And this is why it's super, super easy to get wrapped up in all these like crazy tactics. I'm talking too intensely. It's hurting the stitches in my mouth. But it's still belly to belly. You have to still say like, who are the people? Am I connecting with people every single day? Am I building relationships? And it's not like, again, these can't be like weird, like fake friendships for the sake of like, I'm going to message that girl from high school. I'm like, hey, how are you? And then the second message, I'm going to be like, I'm great. If I sent you this like video, or like, I'm great. Are you looking for a life coach or any of that sort of stuff? We don't want to be salesy and spammy. We want to genuinely build connections. Because if you think about it, your warm market is rarely going to do business with you, but they're going to refer you, right? And so you want to put yourself out there. You want to show up. You want to make connections, and then people will know what you do. They'll see it. You'll have conversations, but you're not trying to sell them. You're like, yeah, this is what I do. And if they're like, fuck, that's what I need, then perfect. Otherwise, they're going to start referring you. Most of my business, guys, is referrals. My high ticket items in my business are referral based. And that is still going to be like, obviously there's parts that we want to automate, but those are going to be lower things and lower ticket items, and it's going to be quicker sales and something that's easier. But when it comes to that, like, you need to make sure that you are doing belly to belly, build relationships. And it's not for the sake of like, I want this person to be my customer. It's, I genuinely want to be in community with you and build a friendship with you and just mastermind, like find business besties. Like, are you like having a Zoom call once a week with like a bunch of different business owners? Are you showing up on Clubhouse and sharing your expertise and being an active like community member and listener? Are you in Facebook groups and you're showing up and you're just talking and you're making friendships? That's what you need to do, number one, to build visibility. Number two, lives and long form content. So the issue with something like Reels or TikToks is you can go viral really quickly, but virality, yeah, that's a word, doesn't necessarily equate to income, doesn't necessarily equate to sales or building a business. You know, it's easy to be like, oh, wow, this got like a lot of attention to my page, but like, how are you going to monetize that? And then we know that the success formula is visibility and reach plus know, like, and trust plus, you know, whatever part of your business that you've decided to monetize, that's what is going to equal success and income and sales in your business. And so to build that know, like, and trust, it's going to take average of 10 hours. Okay, write that down, an average of 10 hours for somebody to get to know, like, and trust me. So that means if you are only doing Instagram Reels, or you are only doing Instagram stories, or you are only doing TikTok videos or anything like that, you're like showing up on Clubhouse and saying like one sentence. It is going to take, I don't even know, what is the math? Here, let's do it really quick. So if we take, that's so funny. Elle just messaged me and said, hey babe, do we have an episode for this weekend? Recording it right now. I will let you know that in 1 second. Okay, so we're going to open up my calculator. So 10 hours times 60, wait, hold on. So, yeah, 60 minutes is 600 minutes. And then if we times that by 60, that's 60 seconds, that's 36,000 seconds. Now we divide by a 15-second reel. It is going to take about 2,500 reels or TikToks or Instagram stories. 2,500. And let's say you do an average of 10 Instagram stories a day. It is going to take you 240 days to build know, like, and trust. Like, I'm talking like now you're looking at a year. When in reality, if you need 10 hours, if you do a 20-minute Facebook Live, so we got 10 hours times 60. So there's does this make sense? There's 600 minutes divided by 60. Yep. There's 600 minutes in, you're like, I'm sure you guys listening to this are like, what the fuck? But you get the point. There's 600 minutes in 10 hours. And if I do a 20-minute live every single day, it is going to take me 1 month. If I do a 20-minute live, a few times a week, and I do a 2-hour webinar every single month. If I am going on Clubhouse and I am talking and I am staying in a room that I'm active in for an hour, it is going to take you it's going to be so much faster. If you are have a blog post that takes roughly 15 to 20 minutes to read, these are all things that you want to think about. This is why long form content leads to sales. And short form content leads to things that, shallow likes and virality and things like that. And so it's really important to keep that in mind. Those things are great. Having reels and having TikToks can really build visibility. You can really, part of that equation is also know, like, and trust. You have visibility, but you need to have that KLT factor. And so if you have something, for example, like a reel go viral, or you have a lot of people that are watching your Instagram stories, you need to hit it right away while people are there. Go live on Instagram. I know that Instagram live sucks. I get it. I know that you can get thousands of people to look at your Instagram story, and then you'll have fucking 11 people on your Instagram live. But guess what? Those people on your Instagram live are building know, like, and trust. This is why podcasts, people who listen to my podcast are way more likely to work with me than people who just watch my Instagram stories every day. Why? Because it's going to take you a year to get to know me and to like me. That's why I don't rely just on Instagram stories. It's why I rely on other long form content like courses and podcasts and Facebook Lives in my community, and where I'm really showing up and showing who I am, because you can get to know me very quickly. This is why I love being on stage. It's 2 hours of me. And they're sold. If I was up there for 15 seconds, nothing. Even to have a Instagram, reel go viral, it has nothing to do with you. Your Instagram reel went viral because people thought it was funny. They thought it was relatable. They saw themselves in it. They thought it was helpful in forms of a tip or anything like that. It has nothing to do with you specifically. You're just starting to build that know, like, and trust factor. And so you have to make sure that when especially you're using short form content, you are pairing it with long form. And every single day, if you only have a short amount of time, I way rather you hop on Facebook Live. I rather you hop on Instagram Live. I rather you record a podcast than spend all day learning a TikTok dance to get a few thousand views or followers or whatever, because it's just not, there's a difference. You pick a stream. Do you want to be an influencer that grows a huge audience that you sell product to through short things like that, where and not even that, because you're not getting paid commission on that, you're getting brands to pay you, so it's you don't even care what's coming through necessarily. It's it's just the visibility and the know, like, and trust. But if you're wanting to build an actual business, you need long form content. And so that's sort of the second thing that I really want you to do to gain your visibility is Facebook Lives and any sort of that long form content, like I mentioned, like a podcast. And that's going to also build into that second portion, which is that know, like, and trust factor. Because like I said, it does take around 10 hours for people to literally want to work with you. And these need to be consistent. This needs to be all of the time. You need to be doing a live video, posting in different groups. People abandon what really works because of trends. It's we know that Facebook Lives work. We know that webinars sell. We know that an email campaign, though, that's what sells. I've made all of my money through webinars and emails. But we just get and podcasts. A lot of my one-on-one clients come through podcasts, but we just get so wrapped up in all the TikTok stuff and the Instagram reels. But you have to make sure that you are focusing on what you actually need to do. Reels can help people find you, but lives make people know, like, and trust you and buy from you. And that is going to be hands down the number one thing. And so this is why, like I said at the beginning, that this episode was really going to tie into Facebook Lives. And so go back now. You're okay, fuck. Now I understand really why I'm going to do these Facebook Lives, because it's going to build the visibility, because it is like going to get more people coming to you. Even if no one shows up, keep going, because more people watch replays. You can keep using that content. I talked about this in the last episode about turning your Facebook Lives into evergreen and all the different stuff you can do with it. But you need to make sure that you are doing this, and this is why, because this is an important part of the success formula. And if you want to just rely on something like Instagram stories or Reels or TikToks, it is going to take you like literally like 12 times longer, if not like significantly more, because you are now trying to build relationship through 15-second intervals versus like in-depth real conversations. And that's why I really, really love Clubhouse for this. And I'm really excited to be bringing this episode to you guys next week. So let me know what you guys think. I know this one was a little all over the place, because honestly, I did have something sort of different intended. But this is kind of where the episode went. And I think there was a lot of really valuable information here. And we show up every Friday. Like, we're going to hang out every single Friday. And there is so much more content to share with you guys. So you guys didn't miss anything. It's just going to come later. And just trust that, you know, what I'm delivering to you is what you need to know. Like, yeah, I could like now make this like a 2-hour episode, or, you know, an hour, a 90-minute episode, and really go into all these different things. But it's going to be too much for you to accomplish this week. Like, you're going to get hyped up about it, and then you're going to feel like shit because you can't do that many things. So let's keep these short. Let's keep these like actionable. And so for this week, I want you to two major things. I need you to start showing up and being a community member and using social media to be social. So go join Facebook groups, like to further your own life and to just build friendships and be a connector and be a person and belly to belly. Okay, that's number one. And I want you to start doing some long form content. So Facebook Lives or podcasts or Instagram Lives. Go listen to the last episode, either again if you have already listened, or for the first time if you haven't, and DM me on, I'm not on Instagram really. But you know what? I still do check my DMs from time to time. You can either send me an email at info@lindsaytompkins.com. You can message me on Facebook, Lindsay Tompkins, or if it's easiest, which I do think this is kind of easiest other than email, is just go to my personal Instagram, _Lindsay Tompkins, shoot me a message there. Like I said, I do check it, a few times, like twice a week, so that, you know, in case I don't miss anything like really important. And, tell me your Clubhouse questions. Okay. You can also join my Facebook group. It is called the Solopreneur Suite. And, I'll put up a post in there, like a little sort of feed, and I'll email it out too. So make sure you get on there. Let me know what your Clubhouse questions are. Let me know, like, not even questions. Tell me your feedback. Tell me, like, what are you afraid of? What is holding you back? What's confusing you about that platform? And we will deliver that next week. Also, as just a little update for you guys, I was going to start this new podcast called Socially Distanced, and it was going to be to chronicle my year, being off of my personal Instagram page. But what I've decided is because I was going to take a break from the Very Vulnerable podcast, but I actually want to go back to it. I've really been like thinking this through, and I think that a lot of the lessons that I'm learning fit beautifully on that podcast, and there's no reason for me to create something that is like, it can't go further than that. Like, I'm gonna do it for a year, and then that project's gonna die because I'm not gonna stay socially distanced forever. So I'm gonna start going back to the Very Vulnerable podcast. I'm gonna record an episode. Today is for you guys, today is Friday, April 2nd. And so I will be putting one up Sunday evening. So this Sunday, there will be an episode for you guys. So be sure, if you haven't already, go to the Very Vulnerable podcast with Lindsay Tompkins. Go subscribe there. There's a lot of episodes. There's 22 episodes there for you to dig into. And I'm going to be, sharing with you guys, first off, like what my first month and a half has been like off of Instagram. And just, oh my God, the amount of things that I have to share there. And I have met so many fucking amazing people on Clubhouse that I am so excited to interview. And that's why I feel too, like the connections I'm making right now, they're not like what they talk about and what I want to talk to them about is not suited for Socially Distanced podcasts. It's for Very Vulnerable. And I'm not running 3 podcasts because there's no point. Why? Because I need to also focus on income producing activities. And even though these build the know, like, and trust factor, I can't just be doing know, like, and trust factor long form content all day long. That's why, guys, there's a formula. You need to make sure that you're doing all three: reach and visibility, showing up, belly to belly. Number 2, know, like, and trust with long form content. And then you are doing your products, programs, and services. And then sprinkle in fun. You sprinkle in fun throughout there, right? Your visibility is going to be showing up. It is also going to be those reels and Instagram stories. But all of that really has to work together for you to build a business. So this is how, I don't know what we're going to call this episode. I'll think about it in a second, but I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your questions. Thank you guys so much for being here.